Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another cast with Trendfollowing Tyson. You guys probably wondering why I got this picture of Floyd Mayweather up on the screen. I know some people aren't technically fond of him. But anyways, Floyd Mayweather is one of the highest paid athletes in the world, and also with a current net worth of over 500 million, almost $1 billion. It may be over that, maybe around 700 million. But I just want to give some insight on defensive trading. And anyways, this is defensive trading and the trend following watch list for May 7th. So with that being said, let me show you something really quick. How is defensive trading and Floyd Mayweather related? Floyd Mayweather Jr. is widely regarded as the best fighter of his generation and one of the best defensive fighters of all time. He enters his May 2nd fight with Manny Pacquiao with an undefeated record of 47-0. How do you get 47-0 in pro boxing without being defensive? That's how you get to 47-0, is by being defensive. There's a case to be made that Pacquiao can pull an upset, but most expect Floyd to win the fight the same way he won his fights from years, making his opponent miss early, timing his counters to perfection, and eventually winning on points. Let's hear a quick word from Ricky Hatton before we get into the watch list. I was fighting a genius, a boxing artist. I was getting more and more frustrated. Lose your cool against Floyd Mayweather, and what you do is you get knocked out. All right, that's from Ricky Hatton. He lost by knockout in December 8 in 2007. All right. Now, with that being said, I did a ratio over this weekend with stock on Stock Talk Live, and it was quite well. It was quite well. But what we did, we looked at some risk to reward ratios, and we took a look at here's what we did. All right, we took a $1,000 account, gave it a 1% risk, which is $10. We gave it a 50% win-loss ratio. Okay, so with the 1% risk, which is $10, losing 50% of the time, that was $500. With a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio on average, say you're winning $2 for every $1 or every $3 for every $1. Okay, the 2-to-1 was $1,000. Okay, the 3-to-1 was $1,500, and like we told you, the loss was $500. So, with that being said, if you manage your risk in the markets, in the long term, over 100 trades, give your process time to define itself, give your process time to show up in the results, and the rest is voila. So the main thing that I want you guys to understand from this Floyd Mayweather analogy is that if you can manage your risk, and I mean manage your risk with 1% firmly, rather that be a $1,000 account, $2,000, $5,000, etc. Manage that risk. So with that being said, take that into consideration, not just tomorrow in trading and not through just in trading in general, but take that into consideration as long as you do anything that you're doing in this realm of trading. Just please take that in consideration. And as you all know, from the billionaires and the millionaires that I've showed you on this show, Paul Tudor Jones, Bruce Kovner, and so on, all of them is a risk management aspect is how they calculate it and how that they earn that capital. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into the stocks. All right. So I wanted to show you guys something. We were looking at CASI last week on the show at $7 to break out of this $7 range. As you can see, this is how the trend looked on the monthly. This is how it looks on the yearly. All right, see that? All right, here we go. Look at the 5-day. We were looking at this CASI here at 7 on the show. On the show, I showed you guys CASI at 7. All right, look what it did. The next days, we galloped right into 7 and over 8. So that was a whole point there. So I like this thing into tomorrow with a stop below this 760 area with continuation. So watch for some upside on CASI tomorrow. That turned out really well, you guys. Really, really well. Congratulations to anybody who made some coins there. and watch that for some upside. And also, here's something I wanted to show you guys. Make sure you guys are seeing that. There's something I wanted to show you guys. CASI banging against resistance. Really? All right, that was my tweet on CASI. CASI, sorry, it's not actually CASI, it's CASI. Let's get rid of that. Let's get back into the stocks. All right, so that was CASI. Let's look at DNR. That was, and let me tell you guys something. These are new markets showing potential, and these are old markets that have done extremely well since we've looked at them on the show. There's a lot of different markets we looked at on the show that I'm not going to bring up right currently now. I'm just going to give you guys a few. But DNR was definitely on the show, and we were looking at it at this level you see here a while back. And as you see, we've got a lot of continuation. Let me show you how it looks with the trend line inside the trend. All right, so we were looking at this thing around 305 in this area here. And we've got a lot of continuation. And that thing's following that whole oil and gas thing. Let me show you another one that's following that oil and gas thing that we were looking at, which is Legacy. Here goes Legacy. Kind of, you can basically draw a trend line in there right with DNR. And they're both kind of like in the same market. They're like oil markets. So as you see right here, holding that trend line. Looking really, really wonderful. I mean, that thing's nice. So it's kind of following that same market with DNR with that whole oil thing. So let's take a look at another market, SMRT. You guys saw this last week. I showed you it Monday. I showed you it last week and probably the week before. So, and as you guys know, if you're trend following with Tyson, as you guys know, and what we do here is we don't just always gather 100 stocks. Hey, look at these. We keep track of the trends that are current, the trends that we've been following, and we kind of keep them current, kind of update them, see what they're doing, because I'm going to stay in this move as long as I can until the trend changes direction. So we broke over 2, and then now we're up here at 260. I showed you guys this market at 2. Remember, I showed you major resistance at 2, and I said if we get over this with the stop below, we're good. So we never got stopped out. Markets ran, and boom, we're still there. So congratulations to anybody who made some coins there. Let me show you guys CERS. This market, me and my guys were looking at, as I told you back in the Trend Followers Club in my Twitter room. We were looking at it over this area as it was kind of like wedging here, and boom, we got a lot of continuation. This thing's up at almost $6 now, so I like it. I like it with the stop below this last candle. Okay, let me go to the 5-day really quick. Let's get you some support areas in here. So I like it below this support area with the stop below this. But watch it for some upside to break over 560. So watch CERS tomorrow. Just a few more tickers. I saw something on BSTI I want you guys to see. This is a market that I haven't looked at, and it's got a lot of market cap behind it. A lot of market cap behind this thing. As you guys know, I don't like trading anything with a market cap under, 1 billion. If so, 500 million, kind of like at the least. But let's look for continuation on this market tomorrow, guys. Watch this with the stop below 170. I kind of wouldn't want to touch it below there, but I like it to kind of hold this support area in here. All right, but I like it to break out of 12. There's some coins there if that breaks out of 12. There's a lot of market cap behind that stock. All right. Let's get to EZPW, another stock we were looking at last week. A lot of continuation there. We were looking at this around 1450, this area here. Let's go to the 5-day. Show you guys really quickly on this 5-day. I want to have you guys here all night. All right, 5-day struggling. There it is. So 1450. You can tighten it up in here. 1465. But the reason why it's on the list, guys, is because it's pressuring major. And let's see what this stock has to offer us. Let's see what it has to offer us. So it's a major upside here. Let's pan out and see. All right. So we can possibly, we're testing this area here. We've already broken through major levels here. Breaking through levels. Now we're in here. You guys know I told you about those dominoes. We start knocking dominoes over. And this thing looks totally the same. Remember I showed you guys last week, the stock looks totally the same, just flipped the other side. And we were looking at it here, and it did what it do the next day. It just banged the whole point, almost the whole point. Look, opened at 1335, closed at 1495. All right? So watch that thing tomorrow for some upside. I like it with a nice stop in there. All right. P is another stock I showed you guys, Pandora. And I want to show you guys Sirius XM. And I want to show you guys I. You guys know we've been showing I for a while. Look at Pandora. Panning out. All right. A lot of upside on this thing if it gets moving. Bring you guys in a little bit closer. This is how we look in the last month. All right. And I showed you guys. I said, look, we're moving here. I like this thing just for continuation. Didn't know it was going to pop up like this. Add a whole almost 2 points. But to anybody that was watching the show that saw Pandora, thank you guys for coming to the comment section. Also, if I'm missing anything, you guys feel free to come and throw something in the comments and we'll take a look at it, all right? You guys know we need consistent higher highs and lower lows before we watch anything. We're just not going to be looking at crap on here, okay? But anyways, take a look at that Pandora. Watch it for continuation. Watch it to hold this level that it gapped up to, and watch it to hold this support. All right, I'm thinking this is going to hold this. I don't think it's going to shoot down in this gap. I think it's going to hold all this and show some beautiful upside to the top. So watch Pandora. A lot of market cap there. A lot of market cap inside that Pandora. All right. If that stock acts right, if the business is correct within the stock management inside that stock, man, it can really do some things. All right, so you guys already know about Interlast. Like I said, this show's not about always adding a whole bunch of tickers. We need to stay consistent with the big move, okay? If a stock's going to go from $5 to $100, we need to trade it. If we enter at 7, we need to stay long at 7. Even if we knock a portion of the trend off and let the rest ride, we need to let the rest ride up to 100, okay? We need to let the rest ride up to 100, okay? So I'm letting the rest of my position ride with Interlast. Like I showed you last week at 935 was that entry. Guys, we've added a whole point. Remember, I told you we went up to 14. All right? Now we're holding the support area. Nice to see this stock gap up, hold these high levels. Watch for this thing this week, you guys. I don't like it if it starts trading below this. Definitely not below 10, but I see it could trade into $11. It could trade at $11, all right? So watch that thing tomorrow. Billions are made in this industry, you guys. If you can manage a risk, just like I showed you with Floyd Mayweather, and I showed you guys that risk to reward ratio with the $1,000 account, if you manage that 1%, this is a billion-dollar industry, guys, okay? $1 million industry, and I know it's not just about the money that we can make. It's about what we can learn. It's about how we can grow within ourselves. But in addition to that, you know, I mean, we are here to make money, so let's do it correctly and let's manage that risk, guys, all right? Let's look at EBIO real quick. I know you guys a lot of you guys are long on this stock. I don't like trading anything with the market cap under 500 million, but there's something nice there, all right? Holding this support level, I like it to break above this, so watch that. You guys aren't underwater yet. Everybody trading EBIO. You guys just aren't underwater just yet, all right? So that's the trend following stock analysis for this week, for actually to start the week off. And as you guys know, we'll be back to take a look about Wednesday or something like that, see how these stocks are turning out. We didn't put everything on the list, but we'll come back and see what's moving. So hold those positions. If you're not getting stopped out, follow that trend, hold that position, hold those positions, because you're going to be better off than the guy that blows his account in 1 year than the guy that just held the long trend, you know, with 5% of his account or 10% up to the long side, all right? So I'll see you guys shortly and manage that risk in any case, okay? Remember what I showed you guys about Floyd Mayweather, defensive trading, defensive trend following, and that's a winning risk to reward ratio in itself, all right? Bang.